So first of all, my point always is what we ought to have done in 2017, what we ought to do now is simplify it and rationalize it. I never liked the word tax reform. One of my favorite sayings is, all change is not progress, all movement is not forward. And so we've just continued to complicate our tax system, and it really hasn't helped out a whole lot. One chart, speaking of charts, that I always found pretty interesting was this one that shows the top marginal tax rate in the pink block, and then this is since 1959. This is 60 years worth of history. As we've tried to punish success with this tax rate as high as 91%, 70%, 50%. It's kind of moderated down here a little bit below 40. But on average, we're able to collect about 17.3% of GDP in revenue. Now, I realize there's a lot of tax deductions, but still, it just seems like there's sort of an immutable reality that as hard as you try to punish success by increasing tax rates, you're just not able to squeeze much more than 17 to 18% out of our economy. Mr. Hodge, do you have any explanation for this?
Well, as long as we try to tax income, we're going to, and as long as Congress is going to have various deductions in the tax code, you're going to get those kind of results. If we move toward a more consumption-based tax, it'll be a lot steadier and a lot more efficient, and we won't have to resort to those kind of levels.
Mr. Bartlett, I would say you'd probably agree with Mr. Hodge in terms of simplification would be moving more toward a consumption-based tax as opposed to an income-based tax.
From an economic point of view, taxing consumption is better than taxing income. The problem, of course, that you run into is that it's a highly aggressive form of taxation, and it's hard to offset the higher taxes that the lower income levels would pay.
I think another problem is if you add it to an income tax, you just end up raising massive revenue, which I do believe does hurt economic growth. One question I always try and ask are those witnesses that are proposing more progressivity in our tax code. So I'll ask Mr. Kogan and Ms. Jacoby, what do you think is the maximum tax rate any American should pay on a dollar of income? Mr. Kogan.
Sorry. Thank you, Senator. I think that the maximum, you're talking about the average or the
No, I want you, what would you, again, if you're
sure. So
one of these wealthy guys that are, reinvesting their money and building a factory and providing jobs, I mean, how much do you want to tax that, that wealthy individual? What's
Sure. So Professor Saez estimated that probably the Laffer curve would end up at around 73%. So I think probably if you're going above 73%, you're no longer raising revenue.
Good afternoon, friends. So get ready for big changes. The Biden administration has just announced plans to change the Internal Revenue Service. And these changes should help millions of Americans save money every year. President Biden has also clarified where he really stands on tougher work requirements for many relief programs. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of the new details. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community. This coming Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, friends, of winning the weekly giveaways. The Biden administration is rolling out a free government managed tax filing system. The Internal Revenue Service just released a report laying out potential options for a system allowing taxpayers to file tax returns directly with the Internal Revenue Service, free of charge, without using a third-party service. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has ordered the IRS to move forward with the pilot direct file system to test the program. IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel told reporters today, taxpayers will always have choices for how they filed their taxes. People should use the filing option that works best for them, for their personal and their financial situation. And under any scenario, the IRS cannot run the tax system alone. Werfel also stated if the IRS were to eventually implement the direct file program, the software would be just one of many options available to taxpayers. Laurel Blatchford, a Treasury Department official who was tasked with overseeing Inflation Reduction Act implementation, told Yahoo News that the IRS would roll out the pilot program during the 2024 tax filing season. Blatchford said filing taxes is expensive and time-consuming for American taxpayers. On average, individual taxpayers spend approximately 8 hours and $140 preparing their taxes each year. Taxpayers with incomes from a business or those who work in the gig economy pay even more. So the burden of the cost can fall heavily on lower-income families. Although there are free software services for families in need, they are often overwhelming and not standardized, which can lead to millions of households missing out on available relief money. Supporters of this program say that dozens of other countries have provided free tax filing options to their citizens, and American taxpayers who want to file their taxes for free online should have accessible options. The Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed and signed into law in August 2022, mandated that the IRS hire an independent third party to analyze the overall feasibility, approach, costs, and the Internal Revenue Service's capacity to deliver a government-run direct e-file tax return system. The IRS announced in February that it would hire New American Foundation. It is a Democratic think tank funded by nonprofits to study the system. But the Republicans on the House Ways and Means Committee blasted the IRS at the time for hiring a partisan group. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts about filing your own tax return? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. President Biden has pushed back at new work requirements for many welfare programs that Republicans have included in a package to raise the debt ceiling. Today, the U.S. president insisted that any changes he supports would be insignificant. Expanded work requirements for recipients of the SNAP program, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, and Medicaid have emerged as a key sticking point in a debt ceiling talk between White House and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. The Congressional Budget Office estimated the higher threshold would mean a loss of SNAP benefits for nearly 300,000 Americans and a savings of $11 billion. The bill would also make it harder for states to exempt its residents from work and job training requirements to receive these SNAP benefits. Republicans have also proposed less flexibility for states to administer the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program. During a press conference today, Biden said, "I'm not going to accept any work requirements that's going to impact on the medical health needs of people." He also said that he would not accept any expanded work requirements that go much beyond the rules that he supported as U.S. Senator in the 1990s. So Biden's careful posturing follows a backlash from congressional Democrats who raise alarm about the possibility of caving to Republicans' push to expand work requirements for welfare programs that serve low-income Americans. A White House spokesman told USA Today the policies that House Republicans are proposing would take away Americans' health care and increase poverty. But ultimately, Biden said he's confident the White House will reach an agreement with Congress to raise the debt limit and the U.S. will not default, adding that both sides recognize the consequences if they fail to pay our bills. So my beautiful and amazing friends, thank you so much for joining me here every day and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I am announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances, my friends, of winning the giveaway. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.